Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Montgomery County Council's Thursday, May 27th session. We will begin today with action to approve of resolution for the FY22 capital budget and amendments to the FY21 to 26 capital improvements program. We're in the home stretch, folks. Before I begin, I just want to recognize all the hard work that's gone into this year's budget. It's always difficult to put together a budget of this scale and complexity, but it was much more difficult this year. We've lived through the worst public health and economic crisis in a century, but despite the historic pandemic, the council's work never stopped. We stepped up to meet the needs of our residents and continue our critical work along with our partners in the executive branch and the public health team in particular. I'm so pleased to say we're finally turning to a new and brighter and exciting chapter in our history post-pandemic, especially beginning tomorrow morning. The budget we'll vote on today isn't perfect. I've yet to see one that is, but it's a strong and balanced budget that I'm confident will put our county on a path to recovery following this incredibly difficult time and allow it to us to achieve it in ways that reflect our commitment to racial equity and social justice. This budget reflects many of Montgomery County's values, our foundational commitment to our schools, our critical human services, and the importance of taking care of our most vulnerable residents. And yet it's also responsible. It replenishes our reserves and protects our AAA bond rating. None of this would have been possible without the collaboration, the very hard work of our amazing colleagues on the council, my colleagues on the council, and each of our office staff. Our council leadership, including Marlene Michelson, Selena Singleton, Sonia Healy, Craig Howard, Glenn Orland, Keith Levchenko, all of our terrific attorneys, and all of our outstanding policy and fiscal and racial equity analysts. All of us on the council, all of our residents are grateful for all your hard work and dedication. Our work doesn't stop here today, but I'm very proud of everybody who was part of this budget, electeds and staff, and the work that we've all done collectively under very difficult circumstances. And while I'm very excited about the budget, I'm really looking forward to returning to our unfinished policy work to make Montgomery County a better place for all our residents that consider this incredible place our home. So with that, unless any of my colleagues want to chime in, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember Reamer moves, Councilmember Novato seconds. All those in favor of the budget resolution, please raise your hand. That is unanimous. Next is a special item 0.5 is a special appropriation to the capital budget for resurfacing of residential and rural roads, $409,000 general obligation bonds. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
Move approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Friedson moves, Councilmember Reamer seconds. All those in favor of the special appropriation, please raise your hand. Terrific, that's unanimous too. Next action is approval of resolutions for the FY22 capital budget, amendments to the FY21 to 26 capital improvements program. Is there a motion to approve those resolutions?
So moved.
Councilmember Katz and Councilmember Reamer seconds. Terrific. All those in favor of the resolution, please raise your hand. That is unanimous again. Next is the action on the approval of resolution for the FY22 operating budget. Is there a motion to approve that resolution?
So moved.
Councilmember Katz moves. Councilmember, who was that?
Second.
Oh, Councilmember Tawando seconds. Thank you. All those in favor, please raise your hand. That's unanimous as well. Terrific. And next we have resolutions to approve the WSSC capital improvement program, WSSC capital and operating budgets, the county cable communication plan. Is there a motion to approve those resolutions?
So moved. This is Hines.
Councilmember Reamer and
Second.
Councilmember Rice seconds. Terrific. All those in favor of those resolutions, please raise your hand. Great. That is unanimous. And next is our resolutions to establish the FY22 property tax rates, a resolution to revise the authorization of the substitution of current revenue for general obligation bonds in FY21, resolution to authorize the substitution of current revenue for general obligation bonds in FY22, and a resolution to set the amount of property tax credit for the income tax offset. Is there a motion to approve those resolutions?
So moved.
Councilmember Novato
Second.
moves. Councilmember Rice seconds. All those in favor, please raise your hand. That's unanimous again. Great. And next, we can take up the consent calendar. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Council Vice President Albornoz moves. Councilmember
Second.
Friedson seconds. All those in favor of the consent calendar, please raise your hand. That's 9. That's unanimous. Great. And now we can have a public hearing on a supplemental appropriation to the county government's FY21 operating budget for the Department of Transportation in the amount of $13,575,533, and for the Department of General Services in the amount of $4,136,089 for snow removal, wind and rainstorm cleanup. There are no speakers for today's public hearing. So the public hearing is now closed. All those in favor of the supplemental appropriation, please raise your hand. That is unanimous. Thank you, colleagues. Now we can open up legislative session day 13. We'll have an introduction of Bill 2021 Swimming Pools Lifeguard Requirement Amendment.
Mr. President, on the last supplemental appropriation, didn't we need a motion first? There wasn't a motion for that.
Maybe we didn't. Sorry, I was going too fast. Is there a motion
Okay.
in support of the supplemental appropriation, please?
So moved.
Councilmember Rice moves. Councilmember
Second.
Cass seconds. Great. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you again. Thank you, Councilmember Rice. Public hearing is now closed. Special appropriation passes. Legislative day 13. I introduced the bill. I will call on Council members Katz and Rice to describe the bill and then call on our legislative attorney. Councilmember Katz. I think you might be muted.
No, unmute. I think make sure you join the audio, Sydney. You got it sometimes if you're on your phone, you have to join the audio.
Still can't hear you, Sydney.
Pardon me, Councilmember Katz. I see that you're unmuted, yet your audio isn't working. Perhaps go try in settings and set your audio once again and choose your microphone.
Might just want to disconnect and reconnect.
Mr. President, while Councilmember Katz is connecting, I can just say that very, very simply, this bill reflects a lot of the common practice that we see. Many of you who attend health clubs or fitness clubs, gyms that have pools know that there's a person who's there as a responsible person for managing the safety and risk at our pools in these facilities.
Sorry, Mr. Rice.
Yes.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but and maybe I'm misunderstanding the discussion, but I think this is an open meetings issue.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
Christine,
Why
can
would
you
that be an open?
explain that a little more? Christine,
Yeah,
we
we're
often have sponsors of a bill and explain the bill.
What?
No,
During
I'm
an
not
open
really
meeting.
sure what the issue is, unless we're not on the TV. Maybe the TV went out. They're streaming.
Equin, is the TV out for any reason?
Our feed is currently live.
I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me, Councilmember
We
Rice.
got you, Sydney. We got you, Sydney. We heard you.
Sydney,
Uh-oh. I'll be
go ahead,
careful.
Sydney. We can hear you.
You're back.
Okay, should I go ahead?
Councilmember
Yes, go
Katz,
ahead.
please go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Hopefully this will work. First time ever. If you all couldn't tell, I'm on my cell phone. I'm pleased to be introducing Bill 2021.
Just
Swimming
Sydney, drop down your
Yes.
phone a little bit. There you go. All right. Okay, there we go.
Okay, thank you. You can tell I need all the help I can get. I'm pleased to be introducing Bill 2021, swimming pools lifeguard requirements. The goal of the legislation is to ease the burden on an industry struggling due to COVID-19 restrictions while maintaining the safety of our residents. This bill will also align with the county with the state statute and our jurisdictional neighbors. As you've read in the packet, the legislation allows health club members and members' guests to use the pool when a lifeguard is not present, as long as the pool is less than 2,500 square feet and a maximum depth of 5 feet. Members and guests are at least 16 years of age. An emergency alert system is installed in the pool area to summon help. The health club has an employee with a valid infant, child, adult CPR certificate to provide quick intervention if needed, and the health club requires that staff regularly check the pool area to ensure the safety and well-being of guests. Some of my colleagues may remember that the council enacted similar legislation related to hotel swimming pools in 2017. Look forward to the public hearing and committee work session. And let me thank Councilmember Craig Rice and his staff for their partnership, and Luden McCartney Green for her work to get this bill ready for introduction. Thank you. I think I got through what I wanted to say. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
You did great. I totally understand the bill. Councilmember Rice, anything to add?
No. Just again, we see it, and we see a lot of staff that's already in a lot of these facilities that does that checking on a regular basis, just to make sure. Many of the pools that are utilized are done via people who are in classes, so they already have a person that's there who's conducting the class, who is also certified in life-saving techniques. So from that perspective, I think that we're solid when it comes to the protection of individuals. And just as you heard from Councilmember Katz, undoing a burden that we have on these facilities. So thanks for your support.
Thanks. Attorney McCartney Green, anything to add?
Thank you, Council Hooker. No, I think Councilmember Katz and Rice summed it up pretty quickly. Like I mentioned, this is reducing lifeguards, but still ensuring safety and remaining competitiveness in Montgomery County when it comes to health clubs.
Wonderful. Thanks so much to all of you. So that bill 2021 is introduced. Now we can take final action on Bill 1021, Economic Development Strategic Plan, Economic Development Corporation duties. Is there a motion? And Councilmember Friedson. Oh, there it is. There's your text. Councilmember Friedson, please go ahead.
Sure. I think this is a committee recommendation from the Fed committee. So first of all, thank you, Mr. President. Really pleased with all of the work on this and coordination and collaboration. That's really the whole point of the bill. So glad that during the legislative process, we're able to really work on that. Particular thanks to the chairs of the Fed Committee and Government Operations Committee, not only for their work on this particular bill and helping to draft it and work on it throughout the process, but really in laying the groundwork for the bill itself, and a lot of work on various efforts, the Economic Development Strategic Plan that Councilmember Reamer, my predecessor Roger Berliner, worked on many years ago, Councilmember Navarro as Council President, who put forward the Economic Development Platform, many other efforts as well, but really those are at the core of what this is attempting to do. Also, thank you to the MCEDC for their willingness to take this on and to lead the county in this effort. That was the whole idea when we created an outside entity to do economic development outside of the executive branch. And I really also want to thank the county executive himself and his entire team who really worked with us to try to make sure that we were getting to a place that would serve all of our shared goals, but also make sure that we're reading off of the same sheet of music, so to speak, and we were getting our economy singing. And that is the whole purpose here. Thanks also to Council Vice President Albernaz and Councilmember Katz for co-sponsoring as well. Just Very briefly, as colleagues know, the goal here is to consolidate and streamline all of our efforts. We have many of them across lots of personnel and across many agencies in and beyond county government who are doing a lot of great work when it comes to trying to grow our economy. And we're really trying to build on those efforts, but also bring them all into one consolidated, coordinated, institutionalized format so that the public has an opportunity to weigh in, but that everybody knows when we talk about what is Montgomery County's economic development plan. We have a place to go, and it's formalized officially every 4 years, updated every 2 years. That way we can measure what success looks like, we can hold ourselves accountable, and we can grow an economy that actually sustains and supports the high quality of life, the high level of services, and the fact that we take care of each other in Montgomery County. We can't do that unless we grow our economy, and this will really help us to do that, improve our quality of life, strengthen our school system, build on needed transportation infrastructure, and provide the critical services that we've seen this year, in particular, more than ever, for vulnerable residents. So thank you to colleagues. Thank you to you, Mr. President. Thank you to the executive branch and to council staff and to all of our partners in economic development, and look forward to seeing us move this forward and working together in a consolidated and coordinated fashion to grow a thriving and inclusive economy.
Thank you. Chair Raymond.
Thank you. I wanted to thank Councilmember Friedson for taking the lead to figure out a fresh and I think updated approach to our economic development strategic plan. As Andrew mentioned, a number of years ago, I think it may be 6 or so now, maybe 7, Councilmember Berliner and I introduced legislation requiring the executive branch to create an economic development strategic plan, which we did. It was a terrific plan, took a couple of years to work through. The real objective there was to bring the private sector leadership and the county leadership together and create more cohesion about the vision for what we were trying to achieve and the strategy. And I think it had a very beneficial effect. At the same time, that was done before we had MCEDC. And I think with the advent of MCEDC and its ongoing role now, it does make sense to transfer that function to MCEDC, and also to take it from being an every 4-year document to an every 2-year document. And I think in becoming an every 2-year document, it should become a bit more of a living and breathing exercise. And I'm sure one that hopefully will be adapting and evolving in an ongoing way. And of course, both branches will be able to contribute to. So I think it's a useful, evolution of the idea, and I look forward to seeing our first draft towards the end of the year. And thank you again, Councilmember Friedson. Appreciate your work there.
Councilmember Novato.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Councilmember Friedson, for leading on this issue. I'm so pleased to be a co-sponsor with you and colleagues. It's interesting. I think Councilmember Friedson, you and I just participated in the Small Business Network. And in that conversation, we spoke about how this particular council has truly rallied around economic development. And I think in the past, that was not necessarily a sort of active priority for the council. But it is important because there are so many intersections between what the council does, given that we are the ones responsible for land use decisions, that we are the ones responsible for the ultimate budget adoption, that we are the ones responsible for, legislation. And so there is a very important role that the county council plays in concert with the county executive to not just set the framework and the vision and the strategy for economic development, but also to make sure that we are facilitating that ecosystem, that somehow we're not inadvertently standing in the way. And it is very hard to assess that unless you have a framework and a strategic plan that you can not just approve or adopt or agree to support, but also that you know how those decisions are helping the county move forward to make the strategic plan actually something that is actionable. And for too long, I know that I have heard, I'm sure many of you have as well, feedback from the private sector specifically and other stakeholders that there was not a clear vision in terms of what our strategic direction was, that we knew the biotech life science was important, but there wasn't a sort of robust, almost like elevator speech, if you will. And so this is why these particular steps are so critical. For some people, it may seem sort of obvious, and why are you doing this? It is absolutely important. There is no way that we're going to be able to achieve that vision that all of us articulate unless we have a vehicle to achieve that. And so thank you, because I think this takes it to a next level. It is predicated on the Economic Development Platform, which is a very simplified framework. And it ensures that there is a check-in to just understand what progress is being made and what is actually happening. Also, I think it's important to recognize that as we are coming out of this particular pandemic, that this notion of economic development framed from a perspective of creating jobs, creating opportunities, taking advantage of activity centers, this is going to be front and center and so important for the recovery of this county and also for the issues around equity. Because, equity is all about opening up more opportunities and also providing the access to those opportunities. And unless we take advantage of the potential that the county has to offer to expand the opportunities, we're going to sort of be in the same pattern over and over again, realizing the same disparities, years from now. So this is all very connected, and I am really pleased with the language. I'm really pleased with the way it was structured, and Godspeed. I think it's going to be really, really awesome to have this and to be able to see in the future how it's been implemented and what has been achieved. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well said, Council Member. I would just add, I fully agree with everything you said about what this council has done to focus on economic development. And I would just add that I spoke to the Montgomery County Chamber yesterday, and I heard in the discussion and afterwards many positive comments from the committee members about the council's response to COVID, about our commitment to get millions of dollars out the door and on the street to support businesses that had been closed by a virus, no fault of their own, no bad investments, no downturn in the business cycle, and by a governor's order. First in my lifetime, when the governor had to tell people to close their businesses. And I think the government really had a responsibility to do everything possible to keep those businesses whole. So I received a lot of positive feedback about the grants programs that were really a lifeline to so many of our businesses under very difficult circumstances, the advocacy that we were involved in to put together a statewide coalition to open up the rainy day fund and push the governor to do that, which resulted in more millions of dollars on the street for businesses, and the recent actions to reopen the economy safely as well. We all know we had insufficient job growth before COVID, and I'm really hoping that especially starting 6 a.m. tomorrow, we can use actions like this very good bill to catapult Montgomery County into a new environment of robust job growth coming out of this pandemic. So grateful to all of you for your hard work, not just on this bill, but on focusing on economic development going forward. Councilmember Glass.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you, Councilmember Friedson and the Fed Committee for its work, and Councilmember Friedson for introducing the legislation, because I think we need creative and nimble approaches in how we tackle economic development here. And the business climate, especially the business climate in life sciences and emerging technologies, changes in a heartbeat. And it continues to evolve at lightning speed. And so anything that we can do to have our finger on the pulse of the business climate, particularly in the Maryland and National Capital Region, I think is really important. And as has been alluded to in this conversation, but taking a step back, we know that economic development goes beyond businesses, and it's intertwined with all aspects of life here in Montgomery County, a beautifully diverse community. And the small businesses here in Montgomery County were hit particularly hard during the pandemic, and we know that we have a lot of work to do to help bring them back. And so I am just curious. I see Mr. Fletcher here, and I welcome comments from the bill sponsor and Mr. Fletcher as well. Just about help me understand how the drafting process by MCEDC, would ensure that the economic development plans, capture and incorporate the full spectrum of Montgomery County and the diverse needs that we have here amongst businesses of all sizes.
Absolutely. Good morning, Councilmember Glass. So the process by EDC will have to be inclusive. There will have to be some community engagement. There will also have to be some government engagement, government leadership, in order for them to create a strategic plan that is encompassing of all the facets that we know of Montgomery County. It can't be created in a vacuum. So while the prior comprehensive economic strategy was done in a way that I believe engaged through a consultant various roundtable groups of community interested stakeholders, EDC's process may not be that extensive, but it will have to be something very similar. Otherwise, especially for the first plan, they're starting off because they haven't done one in this fashion on their own. They would be starting from scratch, so to speak, which is why they need a little bit of extra time in order to deliver the first one. So they're going to have to grab some of the stakeholders, and they're very engaged with the business community, which is great. And I know that they're engaged with a lot of the Fed committee members, as well as yourself and other members of the council, and the executive branch is there to support them as well. So I would say that along with what they're going to do and what the executive branch should do to help them make sure that it's as robust and inclusive as possible, it should be able to get done to your liking and your council members' liking as well.
I appreciate that, and the way you describe it, it quite frankly also sounds that this strategy and the development of it is also a redoubling of outreach efforts to really hear from all aspects of the community, to hear where the needs are and how the county can better position ourselves over the next 2 years during the development of that plan.
Yes, sir. So part of what we're doing right now, which should sort of lead over into their strategic plan, we've brought together some of the data experts within the county, whether it's County Stat, our planning department, EDC. They have a lot of good data scientists there. And we're trying to figure out what is the data telling us from what Montgomery County needs forward. What businesses were lost, what businesses need to be created, what industries were thriving before, will they thrive again, what industries are thriving now. So pulling together that data set and having that for EDC to be able to use as their springboard for their strategic plan development should only help them. The one thing I will say without having my EDC partner here is that, they are the subject matter experts, and putting this plan in place the way that yourself, Councilman Friedson, have designed will allow them to have that ownership of using their expertise to guide the county the best way forward and not the other way around.
Well, I do see your EDC partner here. I don't know if Mr. Wu would like to weigh in. I see you're unmuted.
Oh, thank you, Councilman Glass. I apologize. We didn't realize you guys are moving so expeditiously. So congratulations on completing all the work on your agenda, and apologies for being a little bit delayed. I think the question, Councilman, that you had raised was whether or not we would be seeking outreach and what input that we would be receiving as we move forward if 1021 were to be passed. And if that's
right, it was so that's definitely a component of it, and the question was just about the diversity of our business community, right? And so just making sure that in the development of the plan, you are hearing from as many business owners and quite frankly all sectors of society as possible.
Yes, well, and thank you for the question. Certainly that's a priority. It always has been for the EDC, or at least during our recent tenure. We do know that the council's economic development platform underscores the importance of racial equity, and we have tried to reinforce the importance of an inclusive economy as part of our work plan and our efforts. And I think you've seen this in the representation of those companies that we have engaged with, but also in the grant programs that we've been executing. A significant number of recipients are small minority-owned businesses. We've particularly targeted those that we believe are underrepresented communities and also underrepresented businesses as well. And so I think we have been successful in doing that. But in order to achieve that level of engagement, we've had to very aggressively go out with a media and marketing campaign towards those communities. So we certainly want to make sure that as we push for an inclusive economy for the county, that all segments of the county's population can benefit from what we hope will be a unified and a consensus strategy for us to move forward economically for a strong economic recovery. And we won't lose that focus. One of the caveats that we have, though, as we move forward, is that we recognize that this is a truncated timeline for this particular year and this exercise because of the fact that the legislation will be passed presumably as early as today, and then we'll have essentially a few months to prepare the document for the executive and also the council's review. So we will engage in that, and we've already begun outreach and have done engagements in public forums before in our past activities. The only caveat I would suggest is that we may not be as able to, just given the truncated timeline, to be able to do all the things that we would normally want to do. But we do feel placated by the fact that we know that when the council receives a report, you will be doing public hearings on this. And so there will certainly be an opportunity for the public to weigh in on the strategy, whether it's with us as we're preparing it or with the council as you're considering the strategy in the future next year.
Well, thank you, Mr. Wu. Thank you for that thoughtful response. Oh, Mr. Friedson, do you want to?
Yeah, just very briefly, because I think it's all been said by colleagues in the executive branch and the EDC, but it's important to note what this is replacing. The process previously was done exclusively in the executive branch, then submitted to the EDC board to take a look at and provide some feedback, and then ultimately was supposed to be provided to the council. This dramatically changes that and puts us at the end of the process so that it allows for a lot more community input on the front end, not necessarily on the back end. We're not putting a document, kind of putting it out there to the actors in the economy and saying, what do you think about this? Take it or leave it. We're saying, hey, we're putting together this economic development strategy. What do you think should be in it on the front end before we even, at the executive branch, the county executive and his team, or at the council, we review it. To me, that is part of the whole secret sauce here. It is predicated on community input. It is predicated on ensuring that on the front end, we're actually getting the feedback and ideas from the business community, from our nonprofit partners, from all the employers and actors out in the county's economy, for the goal that, as noted earlier, we have great assets, maybe unrivaled assets of any other jurisdiction in the country, if not the world, but we're not always as good as the sum of our parts. That's true on our economic development programs, and that's true in the broader economy. The goal here is to bring it all into one place so we're all pulling in the same direction, so that we're putting the ball in our best players' hands, which includes the community themselves, the businesses and private sector themselves, and then making sure that we all agree on where we're going, and then we work together to get there.
Well, I appreciate your thoughtful explanation as well, and the sum of your parts, your comments and those of Mr. Wu are the reasons why I'm going to support the legislation, because I think it is a creative and modern way to utilize our talents and strengths here, right? But I will make this final comment just about the expeditious nature of how this has come to the council and the full council right now, because when this bill was introduced on March 2nd, I had introduced another piece of legislation on March 2nd as well, Bill 1121, that would require the live streaming of open meetings. And that is an initiative that is taking place at the state level and has been underway for a while with state agencies and quasi-governmental agencies, which MCEDC clearly is. And personally, I wish we had the opportunity to vote on both bills at the same time, given that there is majority support for both bills, because fundamentally, I believe that greater responsibility should come with greater oversight. And so I look forward to continuing this conversation. And as Mr. Wu said, we will have lots of conversations about these plans and about the outreach and about the development and thoughtfulness. And so definitely the conversation will continue, and I look forward to continuing that conversation with Bill 1121 as well. So thank you very much, Mr. President. I yield back.
Thank you, Council Member. Mr. Wu, I want to thank you for your comments about your commitment to our minority business community. As I think you and I have discussed, 6 years ago, when EDC was created and established by the Councilmember Leventhal and I introduced an amendment to put in your bylaws that EDC would always be committed to our minority business community and particularly to access to capital and credit. And I think before your leadership, it wasn't enough of a priority, as you and I have discussed, and I'm grateful for your comments and particularly for your commitment. That is not only the right thing to do, it's a particular economic strength of Montgomery County, and something that we'd be remiss to deprioritize, because it will help us only compete better with our neighboring jurisdictions and make sure that everybody is participating in our economic growth. So I appreciate everything you said. Council Vice President Albornoz.
Thanks, Mr. President. Appreciate the leadership on this. I was watching the Ellen DeGeneres show the other day, and they had a young man who developed an app to connect all apps. And that's a little bit what this feels like. It's just sort of coordinating efforts in a way that makes sense and make sure we're all going in the same direction here. And I'm actually chiming in from McAllen, Texas. First time I've traveled in over a year. I'm with the delegation visiting the border, and going outside of Montgomery County always gives all of us an opportunity to reflect on what's going on in our community. And there's a lot of assets. There's so much to be proud of, but there is a lot of work that is yet to be done. But I'm confident in the team that we'll be able to move this forward, because there's going to be tremendous opportunities on the horizon from an economic development standpoint. The paradigm has shifted from what was the business models before the pandemic to what the business models will be past the pandemic. And we have to adjust to those times and be nimble. And I think this legislation will help us do so. So thank you all and everyone that worked on it. Look forward to voting for it.
Thank you. Councilmember Novato.
Thank you, Mr. President. That exchange reminded me that it's important to highlight the fact that the Economic Development Corporation does have a position that is specifically there to do the outreach, the engagement, and to also ensure that that kind of feedback is considered. I believe Mr. Parra is the person who has been hired for that, and it was a particular position that I was pleased to be able to shepherd through as a priority, because as it was said, one of the extraordinarily amazing strengths of our county is the entrepreneurial spirit of our communities of color, our immigrant community. And it is so important to ensure that there is that kind of participation and inclusion. So we do have the pieces in place as far as I'm concerned. And this, I think, if anything, will help focus and also align this work with what is in front of us. Like Council Vice President Albornoz just said, there has been a paradigm shift that has occurred, and we have to meet that moment. So again, thank you to the Fed Committee and Councilmember Friedson for this important step forward in this process. And thank you, Mr. Wu, for always stepping up to do all kinds of things that we shepherd your way.
Thank you. Chairman Reamer.
Thank you. Great discussion. I just wanted to share with my colleagues that we are already scheduling I think it will be June session with MCEDC, the Fed Committee, to work on their business strategy and business development strategy for our local and minority and women-owned businesses. So we'll continue this important topic and make sure that we are really investing in and building strong programs to support local economic development. Thank you.
Terrific. Okay, we have
Mr. President.
Oh, Councilmember Jawando. Sorry.
I think I got lost there. So just want to also chime in as a member of Fed. Really appreciate Councilman Friedson putting this forward. Really appreciated Councilman Navarro joining the committee session. We added some great things, as you've heard, to the bill. In addition to just the timeline being switched, as Councilman Friedson talked about, which is really smart, the reporting requirement and the desired outcomes for a diversified economy and racial equity and social justice being at the forefront of that. I think that's just critical. I should mention just this Monday, the Small Business Rent Relief Program application closed. It was open for 1 week. We announced it the week before at Roxana's flower shop right there on Flower Avenue in Long Branch, in my home neighborhood. We had 261 businesses apply in a 1 week window with very limited advertisement, and over 76% of those businesses were businesses of color. And we're only have enough money. We have $1 million to help about 100 or probably a little less of those businesses. And so it's my hope that just a demonstration of the conversation we just had of the need and the vibrance of our communities, our small businesses, our businesses of color, and our larger business community. It creates this great tapestry that's really going to be critical to making sure that we continue to thrive and recover in an important way. So I think this is a big part of that, having that strategy laid out. And I know with the new money, we'll come back and hopefully add more to that program and look at other ways to support our businesses as a part of a comprehensive strategy. So really appreciate it. I will second, I raised this in committee with Mr. Wu, and I was happy to hear that this is so important to them that they are thinking about doing a lot of the work in-house and make it kind of embedded into the work of the EDC, which I think is important, as opposed to just nothing wrong with consultants, used to be one, but I think when you have the commitment that we're going to drive it, I think that's really good. And I also raised the point that Councilman Glass brought up, that we should, take up his bill, I hope in June, to make sure that the public can watch everything that's going on and while we do all this important work. So I think that's important as well. So I appreciate it, all my colleagues, and very happy to support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rice.
Thank you. I just have a very brief comment, and I want to echo what everyone has said so far to this point. Just share that public policy is what got us to this point where we've seen disparities in business and the treatment of businesses of people of color. And so it's going to require that same public policy to be able to get us to undo those same ramifications. And so from that perspective, it's going to be hard because people are going to assert that somehow businesses that are owned by people of color are receiving unfair, unjust treatment because we're prioritizing them. But the reality is that they were deprioritized for so long and discriminated for so long. You have to do that to try and just put them on a level playing field. And so I just hope that folks are real about that and understand that that's what it's going to look like. That's what it's going to sound like. And any kind of strategic plan that doesn't have those elements in it is not true to the overall goal of us achieving that true equity. And I know that's what my colleagues believe, but I want to make sure that the public does understand that it's going to look different. And it's really going to be something in which you'll see a lot of things going to businesses that think, well, I should be getting some of that too. Well, the reality is you've had that for decades and generations, and these other businesses have not. And that's the reason why they continue to lag. And so great bills that were introduced by Councilmember Jawando, just to try and do little pieces of it, Councilmember Glass and others. You guys have all done great work in terms of trying to advance this. And I know even within MCEDC, but the reality is we're going to have something so large and so robust and so aggressive to really make that difference and turn that tide and get us back on track to where we need to be. And I just want to make sure that people are ready for that uncomfortable feeling, because it's going to be there. But I look forward to it. And I really just want to thank everybody for their commitment in saying and agreeing that that is what we need to do. So thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Councilmember Rice. Councilmember Katz.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I don't know how to text you using the phone. So thank you. I appreciate you seeing me. Everything that could be said on this has been said, and I certainly am in agreement with it. I just think it should be noted to dovetail into what Councilmember Rice just said. You know, whenever any business, and whether it's in a shopping mall that has had problems or whatever, when more money is put into the economy, it helps every business in the economy, because a customer that's going into even if it's your competitor, and the competitor is paying an employee and the employee comes into your business, that is a help to you as well. This is the velocity of money. This is the way that we can get to the best place we can get to. And the fact that we're coming out of this crisis is the opportunity for us to step up and do it the right way. And I congratulate Councilmember Friedson and MCEDC and everybody else associated with this. This is the time. We have to do it quickly, but this is the way it should be done. So thank you and congratulations to all involved. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, everybody. And the Fed Committee chairs reminding me that the Fed Committee session on minority business strategy is June 21st. So mark your calendars. If there are no other comments from my colleagues, Mr. Wu, thanks for being here. Mr. Fletcher, thanks for being here and your hard work on this. Mr. Drummer as well. Madam Clerk, do you mind calling the roll, please?
Mr. Glass?
Yes.
Mr. Glass votes yes. Mr. Giwando?
Yes.
Mr. Giwando votes yes. Mr. Reamer?
Yes.
Mr. Reamer votes yes. Ms. Navarro?
Yes.
Ms. Navarro votes yes. Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Mr. Rice votes yes. Mr. Friedson?
Yes.
Mr. Friedson votes yes. Mr. Katz?
Yes.
Mr. Katz votes yes. Mr. Albornoz?
Yes.
Mr. Albornoz votes yes. And Mr. Hooker?
Yes.
Mr. Hooker votes yes.
Bill passes unanimously. Terrific. We have new legislation for economic development. We have a new capital budget and operating budget. Good work, everybody. Congratulations. And unless there are any other comments, we are adjourned. Great work.
Thanks.
We are adjourned until we come back in a couple weeks, right?
Yes.
Well, we knew we had to meet this four-legged friend who was bringing smiles to folks who were visiting the courthouse. Meet Lacey.